Hi, everybody. This is Rio Carey again. So, today I'm going to talk about 10 mistakes that I see a lot of Amazon sellers make before they launch their product, even while they're launching their product. And I'm going to identify those 10 points in this video. Selling on Amazon could be very lucrative, but even small mistakes can cost you significant problems and significant damage with your business. So here, I'm going to identify 10 very common mistakes that I see Amazon sellers make. These are the 10 common pitfalls I see. So I decided to create this video so I can show you what to avoid. I see a lot of these mistakes almost every single day when I talk to my students. So number one, the very first thing I see is poor product research. A lot of people select the wrong products. Like in my past videos that I've done for the past 3 days, I talked about how to find viable products, profitable products on Amazon. If you select the wrong product, you're going to have a problem. So when people have poor product research, they neglect that part. They think, okay, I'm just going to find something, sell on Amazon and do great. It doesn't work that way. You have to spend the majority of your time, invest your time into product research and make sure you're selecting the right products. So selecting the wrong product can lead to investments in products that have low demand and have high competition. That's the wrong place to be. You don't want to have that mix. You want to have the sweet spot of high demand and low competition. That's how you're able to scale properly on Amazon. So once you do this and have the low demand and high competition, this is going to result in you having slower sales, and then eventually you're going to have a lot of losses. Because if you have an inventory sitting in Amazon's warehouse, not moving, people are not buying it, Amazon would charge you for storage fees. They're also going to charge you for Amazon fees just in general, and you're going to end up having losses. The number two problem that I see with Amazon sellers, especially new sellers, is ignoring product optimization. They find a product, it does well, of course, they selected the right product, and they either ignore optimization or forget to optimize. You forget to make sure that your product is relevant in this time. So you have to go into your listing and make sure you change stuff, improve stuff in your listing, and make it relevant. So failing to optimize your product listings with like relevant keywords, compelling bullet points, compelling images, descriptions will make your product lag and make your product not do as well. So after you have launched your product, make sure you always improve your keywords, improve high quality images. If you have images now that seems to be like obsolete after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, change them up, make them very crisp, very bright. Make sure that these are images that people want to look at, because the better your images, the higher your visibility and your conversions. So if people go into your product or go into your listing and see that images look dull, they're not bright, they look, they don't want to go in there. Like what Tom Wang said in a couple that I heard him say a couple years ago was that if you have a store and the outside looks terrible, no one will want to go into that store. The attractiveness of the external part is what makes people want to go in. So that's number 2 point. The third point that I've seen is that people mismanage their inventory. Either they overstock or they understock. Either of those problems could be a big problem. So if you overstock, you're going to be tying your capital down, and then you're going to incur storage fees from Amazon. And if you understock, your ranking that you gained while you're selling pretty well starts to drop. So you have to find that sweet spot of learning how to stock properly. I can teach you that. When you sign up to my program, I'll show you exactly how that's done. So if you're doing very well on Amazon, you're making a lot of sales, people go into your listing and they try to buy and you see run out of inventory, that's going to lead to dissatisfaction in your customers. You don't want that. So you also need to make sure that you have accurate forecasting of your inventory. Make sure you manage your inventory properly. There are apps that you can use to track how much inventory you have, and also on the Amazon space as well in your Sell Central account. There are tabs you can go in there and it can help you to manage your inventory. So you need to make sure inventory is managed properly. That's the third point. So number 4 is inaccurate product description or inaccurate product information. You're selling a product and you give the wrong information. You're saying, okay, I'm selling this product and it has this feature, or maybe you promise it has batteries in it, and then the customer gets it and no batteries. That is a big way it can get you a couple negative reviews. Also, if you have inaccurate or incorrect dimensions, it can lead to logistical nightmares. So when you have an inaccurate description or dimensions and Amazon catches that, they can charge you more fees. Maybe you measure your product as a 2 by 2 by 2, and you guess Amazon and you remeasure it, because that's what happens. Amazon will remeasure it, and they realize that what you sent them is smaller or bigger than what it actually is. Amazon will charge you for that, and then that goes to you, and that's kind of like a waste. And also, a lot of customers can return products if the dimensions or the descriptions don't match. Another problem that people have, mistakes that people make selling on Amazon, is that they neglect customer service. Absolutely not. You cannot do that. Poor customer service can lead to your product not doing very well. It can actually damage your product and damage your branding, because even though we teach FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, obviously, you still have to maintain your reputation on Amazon. You cannot just leave Amazon to do all of the work for you. If you have a customer complaint or a customer sends you a message, you have 24 hours to respond to that message, or you're going to get dinged by Amazon. And it can also lead to negative reviews and decreased sales. If a customer complains about something, it's your responsibility to go into your seller account and address that concern and find a way to fix it. Amazon is in charge of, sales, they're in charge of fulfillment and all that, but customer responses or messages is still your responsibility. You have to respond to them. So prompt and helpful responses to inquiries and complaints are going to help you, and they're going to make your branding become more essential. So it is your responsibility to respond to customer complaints and inquiries in a timely manner. The sixth reason I see people struggle with Amazon, or the errors that they make on Amazon, is failing to comply with Amazon's policies. You cannot ignore the policies. So violations of any part of Amazon's policy can either get you dinged or have your account totally shut down. I see a few people, I cannot say a lot, that feel they can overcome or ignore these violations or these policies, and then they get like something slapped on them, and then that's the end of their account. So Amazon's terms of services, such as manipulating reviews, that's a complete no-no. You cannot do that. Or selling prohibited items. What is a prohibited item? This is just one example. You're trying to sell someone else's branded idea, someone else's branded product. That could get your account not just suspended, but totally shut down. You cannot open an account again. End of the game, right? So you make sure that you don't violate any of these policies. So violating of some of these policies also can lead to significant financial loss. So imagine your account is shut down, and then you have 5,000 inventory sitting in Amazon's warehouse. Amazon would charge you to get that inventory sent back to you. And if you do not respond, I'm not trying to be a herder of doom or trying to tell you, worst case scenario is that they can actually trash that inventory. Number 7th reason, not utilizing Amazon's marketing tools. Amazon has given a lot of resources in order to market your product properly. You have PPC ads. I see some people neglect sponsored ads, neglect promotions. These are ways that Amazon is trying to help you, right? They're trying to help you push your product to be visible to your sellers, to your customers. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of every resource that Amazon gives you. Make sure you're using every resource that you can find in order to help move your product forward. There are a lot of marketing opportunities that you can use in Amazon, and if you don't use them, you're actually hindering your sales growth and make yourself stagnant. So take advantage of these opportunities. Make sure you use these opportunities to the maximum that they're given to you. The 8th reason that I see people make mistakes on Amazon, again, is poor packaging and shipping. Some people say, okay, as long as my product in the box looks good, it doesn't matter what's on the outside. Wrong. You need to make sure your packaging is attractive. I'm not spend all that money on your packaging, but make sure it's at least attractive. Someone wants to open the box. They see the product like, okay, let me open this and see what's in it. So if you have damaged or poorly packaged product, that leads to customer returns again. It leads to complaints. It leads to bad reviews. You're trying to protect your account or protect your listing and make it as, don't give people a reason to complain about your product. So anything that you can do to steer complaints away from your product, it would be very helpful. So if you have poor packaging, poor shipping, not shipping because that's Amazon's responsibility. Poor packaging can impact your listing and impact your business, and not in a positive way. The 4th reason is when people fail to track metrics. So failing to monitor key performance indicators, which is called KPIs on Amazon, like your conversion rates, your click-through rates. Failing to measure those can lead to problems in your account because you need to be able to track your performance. You need to track your profitability. If you don't have an idea of how profitable you are or how your click-through rates are and how that's affecting your total revenue, you have no idea how your account is doing. So this is going to prevent you from being able to identify areas of improvement, and in order to maximize your profit. In order to fix a problem, you need to know what the problem is. If you have no idea what the problem is, how do you know what to fix? So you have to make sure you track your KPIs. The last reason I see errors on Amazon with new Amazon sellers is choosing the wrong fulfillment method. So in the course, we teach FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. There are some products that unfortunately will not work with FBA. You have to be an FBM seller, means that you have to fulfill it yourself. There are some products like that. So select an unsuitable fulfillment method, whether FBA or FBM, could make your product go slower, and it can affect your business in the long run. Failing to choose the right fulfillment channel can impact your logistics cost and customer satisfaction. You need to carefully consider what your business is, what your business needs are, and your business module to choose the right fulfillment center. There are some products that will do well, potentially do well with FBM, and there's some that won't. For an FBA product, if it's a product that's moving pretty fast, you need to make sure that you fulfill it with FBA, because with FBM, you just cannot capture that kind of demand. So I have products personally that I sell with FBM because they don't move as fast as my FBA product. If I have a product that sells between 30 to 40 products in a 24-hour period, I cannot fulfill that by myself. So those have to be fulfilled by FBA. But the slower products you can fulfill by FBM. So if you switch that and do that backwards, you're going to have a problem, because a lot of customers are going to complain you do not have the Prime option, because taking it to the post office and all that takes like 3 to 4 days to get to the customer. People don't want that. Reason why people buy on Amazon is that they want the next day or maximum the 2-day delivery. So if you have a product that moves faster, it makes sense to do FBA, not FBM. So these are just a few points that I've seen, a few mistakes that I've seen that new Amazon sellers make. If you need tutoring, of course, we do mentorship. Let me know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my social media accounts. If you need guidance, I'm here and I'm available for mentorship. And stick to this channel. I'll be dropping some nuggets, some more nuggets, literally every day. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.